is Drake exploiting fans? All right. So Drake, he has a well-documented history of placing large wagers on sporting events, often sharing his activities to social media. You know he loves that. Professor Skye, YouTube guy, thinks that this visibility exposes his substantial fan base, many of whom are young and impressionable to the world of high-stakes gambling. Now, I'm a little conflicted. On one hand, it's his money. On the other hand, his reach is pretty much undeniable. However, considering hip-hop's history with material displays, is this really any different from what we've normally seen?
But like, I like it when he's trying to be an artist, but like, I think that's the question. Is Drake, it's no longer, is he hip hop? It's, is he an artist? Because I don't think he is. I think he's an influencer and he's a gambling groomer. And his goal is to get young men into the manosphere and gambling and feed money to his new boss in Australia, and that's his job, and like that's what he does.
Gambling now. Groomer is crazy.
That's what he is. It's crazy, but it's true. Who's watching that shit? Who's watching Aiden Ross? Who is watching XQC? They're all working for the same thing. He's not trying to make art. He's trying to be an influencer, and he's trying to use that to get teenagers to lose their money and make sure that the class divide is as wide as possible. Damn. So that's why and that's not even getting into the court case. I know.
Does Professor Skye's gambling groomer label accurately describe Drake's actions, or is it a overstatement?
It's definitely a groomer, but I'll let somebody else take the...
What you think, B? Jump in there first.
I think he is.
Oh, you agree with Skye?
Yeah, I agree with him. And him wanting to be an influencer. And this is solely because he's not spending his money, man. Mm-hmm. You out your damn mind if you think that Drake is putting up $1 million on whatever gambling debt or whatever. Anytime you hear
he has it like that.
I don't believe that though. Even if when I hear people say that Jay-Z did such and such, I don't believe that for one bit. Even if they do have it, I don't think they're dumb enough to really do something like that. You know what I mean? I think it is the companies telling people, like, they even front you that. Look, man, because I know you got it. I'll front you this. And if you lose it, it doesn't really do anything for you. You're not losing no real money, but imagine how many people that's going to pull in just because you did $1 million on my platform. You spent $1 million. Oh, Drake won $50 million by putting $1 million on such and such bet.
It's Vegas at the end of the day. If you're winning in Vegas, you get to stay there for free.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to continue to lose your money.
Exactly.
If you lose in Vegas, you get to stay there for free. Yeah. So, I mean...
it's advertisement, man.
Absolutely.
That's all it is, man. I don't believe it for one bit. So, yes, when they say gambling groomer, do I believe it to be true? Yeah.
I think the gambling part is... You got to understand when you're talking about, because he brought up the manosphere spaces. Basically, if you are in that and you have that demographic as people who pay attention to whatever your content is, you're going to get the FanDuel, you're going to get the DraftKings, you're going to get whatever situation out there is, draft picks,
Prize
whatever.
Picks.
All these things are geared towards young men who are looking to come up so they can become more valuable within the sexual dating marketplace. I know these are trigger words for some people, but you got to understand that's just what it is. Do I think Drake is now a part of that with all this gambling stuff that he does? Yes. Yes, it's exactly what it is. Because I don't know if his quote unquote art or whatever his artistry is, it still clicks with people in the same way that it did. And you could take Kendrick out of the equation. It's just that at this point, Drake is almost 40 years old.
Yeah. I'm gonna give him a little bit of grace. Just based off the fact that all of these celebrities are doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So if you watch football on a Sunday, Jamie Foxx might be promoting his gambling joint. Kevin Hart's promoting his gambling joint. The difference in it is that Drake is invested in this company. So when you go to spend your money at that company and make these bets,
he getting paid.
That's when he's winning. You know what I'm saying? Because he's invested in the company in itself. And he's definitely a master manipulator.
I don't think now the groomer part of it, like that goes.
And the groomer.
I see. The thing is that the groomer part of it that goes back to the allegations from They Not Like Us.
But it also goes into the fact that he's on these platforms such as Kick, which is a gambling platform with Aiden Ross's and all these people whose audiences are kids. Yeah. So he's grooming them to become gamblers.
You know, yes. You know what? Now you put it like that. You're right. You're right. Yeah. And the thing is, like, I think it's I'm one of those people that at one point when I got into FanDuel, I was in it. Now, mind you, it's the analytical part of my mind that just likes to see the numbers move.
Sure.
Like because I'll put in a 25-cent lineup on a baseball game.
Try to win 100,000.
Just so I can see the numbers move. Like, it's not even really about, because it's 25 cents. How much are you going to win?
100,000.
But it's the same thing between 9:30 in the morning, and 4 o'clock in the afternoon, where I like to watch the numbers move in the stock market. So it's a different thing for me. So like I got out of that because it wasn't making me any money every once in a while, but for what I put in, no, it wasn't. But I can think about if I had been introduced to this when 18? When I was 15.
Come on, man.
I'd be in real trouble right now.
That part. What you think, Lone, about what Skye said?
I mean, I just agree with him. I don't really have much more to expound on it. I think, honestly, I'm more interested in his second part of the conversation is he even an artist anymore?
That's what I was going to bring up.
To me, yes, he is a gambler. He's been known as a degenerate gambler for a while. Sorry, I don't mean to call y'all degenerates, but
you can say
that's
that.
What it is.
But
you're not speaking as everybody as a whole. You're saying that he's a degenerate.
Yeah, I mean, I think gambling in itself is problematic more so than not. I used to not really see the big deal about it, but
no, it's a problem.
I understand the issues now when I'm a little bit older.
I used to win a little breakfast money on the bus on the way to school. So,
but being said, I think there is a problem in the the intersectionality of all this stuff, like the grooming, the Kick stuff, the fact that Kick is owned by Stakes, how all this stuff is paid. Everything related to all this stuff. Drake's new being on Aiden Ross's stream, live streaming, all this stuff. It's integrated. It's very interesting. His fall off from hip hop in a way. He just did another interview with Bobby.
Yeah. He's very interesting in how he picks who he talks to. But
that was another potential thing. I watched that just because I was curious if there's anything to pluck from. There really wasn't.
No, there wasn't. There's nothing to talk about there.
I don't know. So I generally just agree with the sentiment. The gambling groomer. I'm going to keep it even away from the sense of like the little kids aspect grooming. I'm just going to say from the sense of like the gambling aspect of specifically him injecting himself into these spaces. I think he's an influence of that. So
the only thing that I said was I agree with everything you guys said about the popularity and the power of him promoting gambling, whether he's invested with the company or he's using his own bread. Either way, the impact is still going to be there to me. But I wouldn't strip his artistry away from him. That's the part where, when Skye was talking, granted, he's into all this stuff, but I still think at his core or, who he's known for is the artist first to me.
He's an entertainer. I don't
know if I would strip his artistry 100% away from him. I don't know if I'll do that.
I'm going to say, I'm going to take it. Yeah, I'm going to strip that artistry from him.
You're going to strip his whole artistry away from him at this point in his career?
As of now, yes, because what he's providing is not art, it's product. Because if he was providing art, it would cater to people of his age demo. He make music for kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's appealing to kids.
Yeah. Anything that you hear from him nowadays, that's why he's going to get records with Yeet.
Yeah.
Nobody at 40 wants to hear record with
nobody
Yeet.
Checking that shit.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like you just creating product for kids, man. And that leads more to the grooming.
Yeah. His fall off is very similar to Kanye West. Like, I don't care. Like, Kanye can drop and people are going to check for it regardless.
This is true.
Drake is in the same position that he can drop and people are going to check for it regardless. But there is a fall off in this shit. Like, you can't tell me anything different, and it has nothing to do with what happened last summer. Once this Iceman album comes out, I'm going to be able to definitely let you know if I feel like he's either still that dude or if it's just a rap for him.
I can tell you now, just from the records he's released.
Yeah.
He is not that dude no more, man.
Yeah.
I think they gonna land. I think the record's gonna land.
They have it though.
But see, that's the thing. Like, when you say you think these records are going to land, land to whom?
Yeah, it's
now,
that. It's
now, if you want to talk about, to his point about, and to what, kind of what we're talking about from an age group standpoint or a target audience, if you will, perhaps that's, y'all might be onto something there. I've always looked at him as someone that, because of his international pop status, he to me has been Teflon all the way up until now. But maybe this is the one, to Terry's point, where we actually put that to the test to see.
Because even we can talk about Kanye, and that's the reason why I bring him up. Kanye has been doing shows over in Asia somewhere. I don't know if it's Tokyo.
It's somewhere in China.
Somewhere in China, you know what I'm saying? He's not the same person that he was, and we ain't checking for him like that. So he's over there doing it. There's other artists from here that have gone on over there and ain't popping shit over here.
Drake is doing the exact
Drake
same thing.
is following that exact same trend right
now.
The
overseas model.
He's trying to get into his overseas bag and go from there, because we ain't checking for him like that.
He did say that dumbass shit about
they have the
British
best hip hop artists.
I didn't think about it like that until y'all said that.
Yeah, his
That's
fall
fair.
off, and we talked about Dame, Dad. I mean, his fall off is very much way more significant than this. But when you talk about somebody that had the magnitude and the power of a Drake and a Kanye West, their actions are definitely leading them down the path, or already have, of being kind of obsolete, and people are going to check for you just because you're a superstar, but that's about it, and then it's a wrap.
Yeah, that's one thing I can say. He's never going to be obsolete.
No.
He's not going to be the shining star and the darling of the industry like he used to be.
I really think, and this is, Terry hit the nail on the head. This is the perfect project to see where he is, because I'm on the other side. I think it's going to be business as usual. Everything going to be, Drake going to be able to tour off this, do whatever he want to do.
Tour.
And I think he's going to be successful. It's going to move units the first week. And I think it's going to be par for the course.
The first week
I really
means
do believe
nothing.
that.
First week means nothing.
We talked about this last week.
Exactly. When y'all was talking about y'all was talking about the numbers are fake anyway.
Yep.
That's fair.
You know
That's
what I mean?
fair.
So,
but what I'm saying is, I don't know if I see, if Drake come out the gate and he has whatever you could say a good metric is for
but let me stop you, and I'll ask you this.
Come on.
What is the metric for a fall off or a sustainability? Like Byron hinted, he talked about like people our age, the 40-year-olds. I don't necessarily think it's, I know you're not saying it's just 40-year-olds, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like we care about the stuff. The people that care about the music and the Drake putting out good stuff, he's just not doing that anymore. So to us, we don't care. But what is the metric of like a fall off versus not fall off? Because we know that he's going to be continually successful in the sense of making money and being in front of and appealing to the lowest common denominator and the people that want to prop that up and align with that. You know, like people that are they are continually saying, "Oh, Drake's the GOAT," regardless off the top. You know, like they're going to continually be there. But what is that metric? What is the fall off metric? What is that now? Because numbers don't matter. Well, we know numbers don't matter.
If you take the numbers out of the equation, which we talked about that, like y'all point about last week, that does make it more interesting. I don't know how you can necessarily gauge perception, appeal. Good point. I'm curious more about less about the album and more about reception and perception.
See, I don't even care about that because it's not going to change. People are still going to.
So you're saying when I talk about he's still going to be Teflon and it's still going to be received, that's not going to change.
We've already seen that he's not Teflon.
I mean, but I think he kind of is in a way.
I think
like,
he's Teflon.
I don't think he's Teflon.
No, he's going to have. Look, this is when he's going to have at least one record that's successful. You heard that with the Sexy Songs for You.
Yeah,
and that came out this year as well.
You know what I mean? Like every time he drops a project, he's going to give you a record. The machine is going to make sure that you get a record from him.
There we go.
But those albums are going to come and go. They're not going to stay. They're not going to have no staying power.
Which is why the metric is important.
Exactly.
Well, when we talk what are we talking about?
The metric, you know, and you talk about perception. The perception, and I'm just going to take it back. Hammer.
Mm.
The perception is that the hammer fell off after, especially around the time he put out Pumps and a Bump and off the album The Funky Headhunter.
Love that record.
And you know what? The Funky Headhunter sold about 3 million copies. Pumps and a Bump was a gold single, and so was It's All Good.
Talk to him.
Now, by anybody's metrics perception, that's a success, but it was built into people's minds. And when we talk about the history of music, that Hammer had fallen off. That's, to fall off into a triple platinum album, basically.
I take that.
Exactly. A lot of people would take that. But the perception was Hammer had fallen off. He was out there dancing in the Speedos and trying to be somebody that he wasn't. And after that, he never got it back. And that's messed up because, once again, if you get two gold, if you get 2 gold singles and you are multi-platinum, by any metric, in any situation where you are, it doesn't matter what genre of music you are, that's a success. But it's just because in our minds and what had been built into the culture, we perceived Hammer as a failure going forward.
Jump in, B.
And to his point, the people didn't say the Hammer fell off.
Mm-mm.
It was the media.
Not at that time. He was still the Hammer at that time. He just switched his style. He hadn't been the one that fell off yet.
But there was a perception that he was desperate with the Funky Headhunter. People weren't feeling it.
I do remember that.
But when you look at the metrics of,
it didn't go diamond like
it didn't.
Too legit. Hammer is different from Pumps and a Bump.
Yeah,
but
way different.
But the fact that it only sold 2.5-3 million records, people can frame that narrative as, Hammer's a failure now.
That's when it went to
any
death row.
other metric, Hammer is at 3. You sell that many records, you're still somebody is a viable talent. But at that time, the perception was, get Hammer out of here. We're not inviting him to nothing else. He's done.
I'm still on the Teflon side, y'all. We gonna see. This is what we always say. We gonna see.
No.
But I'm on the Teflon side.
I would have told you Kanye was Teflon at one point in time, and I've been proven wrong. And I don't rock with Kanye no more.
Yeah, which is a big thing to say.
That's a huge thing to say.
I think my metric for him has always been the same. So it's it's just good music. And I don't care if he has a single that's good that works for the clubs. I don't care if you put out a 22-track project and you got one that kind of works. I don't give a about that.
You
man.
threw a whole bunch of shit against the wall and some stuff.
No, give me are you? So it goes back to the artist piece. Is he an artist? Nah, man, he's a product. He's literally just creating product. He is not creating art. He is using art. He's moonlighting as it because that's what he's known for, and he's throwing it at the wall. He's an influencer at this point.
Wow.
That's what he wants to be. That's exactly why
he goes.
Every one of his interviews is with an influencer.
Yeah,
because he's
Aiden Ross
at this point he's trying to figure out a pivot.
Damn,
because
man,
if he can't meet the same success that he did, everybody ain't rocking with him like that.
Even Kai Cenat didn't like his new stuff.
Yes,
he called it ass.
Man, I watched that clip.
Yeah,
probably 10 times because I couldn't stop laughing at it.
And you talk about something that's big. When a kid like that says that,
and
I was pissed off.
And I don't give any stock to Kai Cenat's opinion on music
about anything.
but at the same time,
you know what I mean.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Mad, livid.
Y'all are really making some good behind the scenes points about stuff that I did not think about from an influencer standpoint. Because to me, it's hard for me to hear somebody say, "I'm just going being a creative and being an artist." Like if you strip somebody's artistry away, it's like, nah, man, you gotta make me believe that just off the strength of being a creative. Like I'll fight for stuff like that. But
that's why you should know.
No, I know, but what you guys are saying is triggering the other side of my brain to be like, don't get it twisted, Mike. And then you guys are saying what you're saying, and I'm like, damn, I ain't think about it like that.
Yeah, it's not to say that he can't rap or that he can't make a record.
To your point,
he just doesn't care to.
And it has nothing. To your point, it's about the care and the want to.
Maybe he
I honestly
can.
think he's trying. I think he's trying, and he don't got it. That's why I compare it to Kanye. Kanye is still trying.
That's true.
And it's gone
because he's trying to make hits.
It has left the building.
Because he's trying to make hits. He's not trying to make records.
He doesn't have it anymore, man. That shine is gone.
See, Kanye's put out a lot of bullshit. I don't think Drake. I'm sorry. He's put out a lot of bullshit.
Yeah, he did.
But I ain't gonna say Drake has necessarily put out bullshit to the level of Kanye. But
Listen,
I think it's trend.
What are we talking about?
Yeah,
I mean,
listen, this kind of goes to okay. Let's say that he did have a lot of people writing this shit for him, right? And he's trying to figure out how to catch that same lightning in a bottle by doing it himself, and it's not working. I think he is trying.
maybe he is. I mean, I don't know shit. So
Maybe it's all speculation. Just